Hello, and welcome to the Mighty Dave and Ari
Dave,
show.
wait. By you hitting the button, does that mean that we're going to have a fattening on this show?
A what?
Oh, wait. I'm just joking.
I'm so confused.
I have no idea what's going on.
Have you not seen the fattening on Reddit regarding
Oh, were they like banned the subreddit?
Well, yeah, everybody's saying that this was caused by people hitting or stopping hitting the button, so
Is that what's going on now? I kind of stayed away from R all.
forget it. Other people listening might understand what I'm talking about. Continue.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dave and Ari show. I'm Ari. Your host tonight is Dave.
Hi, I'm Dave.
And our other guest tonight is also Dave.
Whoa.
It's almost like it's the Dave and Ari show.
That's cool.
And as a further introduction, I'm the one with a team still in the playoffs, and these two nerds didn't make the playoffs.
Boo.
That's old news.
Yeah. I know, but it's still funny.
You already made fun of us for that.
Yeah, but it's still funny.
I'm able to say my team's still in the playoffs because we have 3 former Flyers in there. 4 former Flyers if you count Patrick Sharp. So I'm good.
Patrick Sharp, former and future Flyer.
I don't know if he'll be future Flyer. I don't know if we can afford him. We don't have much cap space here.
Hashtag no salary retained.
You'll retain all the salary and you'll like it.
You guys have former King Dan Carcillo on your team. I
You
know
have
that
former
he's
Flyer
making
Dan Carcillo on your team.
all the difference.
Former Blackhawk Dan Carcillo.
Which time? There's like 6 of them.
I know. It's funny, we beat him in the 2010 final, and then he was on our team in 2013 when we won again. And now he's on our team in 2015, back in the final. Dan Carcillo.
And last year he was in the final with New York. So.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Dan Carcillo. When Dan Carcillo goes to the finals, the Blackhawks win. I think is the message I'm trying to get across.
He's terrible. He shouldn't be getting Stanley Cups.
Hey, he's not, as a person, he's fine. As a hockey player,
as a person, he's fine. I'm talking about the hockey version of him.
I mean, he's not playing.
Yeah, that's true.
I bet if he played on defense, he'd be better than Chemo Timonen.
He probably won't have to take a stereotypical holding penalty.
We were just talking about this, actually. Chemo Timonen was actually not that bad in Game 4.
He hit the crossbar.
2 minutes a game.
He hit the crossbar. Give it. Let him have that. Let him.
Okay, if hitting the crossbar makes you a good player, Patrick Sharp is now Sidney Crosby.
Let me have this. I want Chemo to win.
I want Chemo to win too, but he's not good.
I know.
I don't. There's never been a Finnish player I've ever liked because the Kings have never had a good one. So the best one that we ever drafted decided that he hated us and left. So fuck you, Olli Jokinen.
Good for you, Olli Jokinen.
You can't hate Olli Jokinen. You can't hate him.
I can. He totally ditched us. We drafted him 3rd overall, and we're like, hey, we like you. We want to keep you. And he's like, fuck you guys.
I've had so many dates like that. I feel like this season has just been a descent from Dave saying that he like loves the sport of hockey into I hate all Finnish players. I feel like I want to make a montage that starts with like the first episode of the beginning, like October 1st episode, Dave being like, I love every team, and now I hate all
I never
Finnish.
said I loved every team. I said I love the game more than I love a team. So I love hockey first and the Kings second. And then it slowly digresses from there. And I mean, like, there are people. I know you are. But no, actually, there's never been a Finnish player I've ever liked. So I guess.
Surely there must have been a Finnish player you like.
I am going to look through the list of Finnish players.
Okay, maybe you don't like Teemu Selänne, but what about Pekka Rinne? He's amazing.
But yeah, he is amazing. But I don't have any particular love for him. So.
What about Kari Lehtinen back when he was in Atlanta?
No.
No?
Do you hate Miku or Saku Koivu?
Oh, no one can hate Saku Koivu.
He was a duck.
Yeah, but he's Saku fucking Koivu.
Yeah, he's hard to hate.
He's a more likable Mario Lemieux.
But once again, he's not somebody that I necessarily love. I just don't hate him. But that goes for a lot of people. I just can't think of a Finnish player that I've ever loved because I guess there hasn't been one on my team for me to fall in love with them. Like I've never rooted for Finland in anything internationally. I don't know.
I actually often root for Finland in international competition. I'm a big Finland fan. But also, I mean, obviously, I've got 3 Finns on my team right now. So.
I think all of our Finns are gone now.
I would say the only Finnish player that I ever started to like was Aki Berg, because I played defense and he played defense. I was hoping he was going to turn into something good. But then he ditched us and went to Toronto as well. So, and he never ended up turning out to be good.
Antti Niemi was probably my first favorite Finnish player.
Sami Kapanen. Sami Kapanen's amazing.
Isn't his kid a Pens prospect?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
We don't like to talk about that.
Kasperi, right? Kasperi Kapanen?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That's funny.
Yeah, we were all hoping that we would draft him because, you know, Philadelphia loves Sami Kapanen.
I mean, that's probably why the Pens drafted him.
Yeah, I mean, we had a chance.
I just realized that the Kings drafted Ole Jokinen and Anki Berg 3rd overall for both of them, and both of them ditched us. So I guess I just have a bad taste for Finns that were highly touted that we drafted. I mean, we just...
Maybe we shouldn't draft people 3rd overall. That's all you gotta do.
That's true. We drafted Drew Doughty 2nd overall. Look at how it turned out.
just don't be 3rd overall anymore, and you'll be good.
Drafting 3rd overall worked for us.
Ooh.
Shout out to Eric Johnson. Anyway. Anyways.
Yes.
That was a slight... Yeah?
What? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, that's a slight digression, but we should move on to the actual Stanley Cup final.
I'm an idiot, by the way, because Jari Kurri was pretty awesome, and he was on the Kings.
Yeah!
There we go. I found a Finnish player that I like.
We found one.
All right.
What about Tikkanen? I know he played for the Oilers, but he was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. But once again, like I said, it's not that I hate Finnish players. I was trying to think of somebody that I loved that was Finnish, and I couldn't think of any. So now there's thought of one. Jari Kurri. There we go.
I should have thought of Jari Kurri, actually. I don't know
we all should have, because he's a Hall of Famer and a legend.
He wasn't on the list of Finnish players. I went across the top of Google, so I didn't think of him.
I was thinking
he's only the 2nd leading Finnish scorer of all time.
Yeah.
But he's been retired for like 15 years. So, Stanley Cup final?
Stanley Cup final, let's do it. It is currently tied 2-2, heading back to Tampa. Which, why is the game not tonight again? What's so special about Saturday at 8 p.m.?
No one fucking knows.
Saturday draws better for TV because a lot of people go out Friday nights.
But they can be at a bar and watch it.
Yes, but that doesn't count for ratings.
No, I guess.
Because bars and stuff don't count for ratings because they aren't part of Nielsen.
Okay.
It is frustrating, though. I wish it was tonight. I think Game 6 is Monday, so at least it's not. We don't have to wait till Tuesday.
I mean, that's how it was last week. They skipped Friday and then just went Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, and then skipped Friday again. So
yeah.
But we don't have to wait that much longer because we only have a couple games left.
Maximum of 7.
Yeah, we're heading to at least Game 6 now because it's tied 2-2, with the Blackhawks winning the most recent game.
And I think 95% of people or experts picked Chicago to win in 6, so, you know.
Well,
I don't even know what I picked for this.
Now, so at this point in the series is even at 2, best of 3. What do you guys have? What's your revised prediction?
I'm still going with Chicago. I'll go with Chicago in 6 still. I think they're going to pull out the last 2 games.
Yeah, I do too. Because I don't think Ben Bishop's 100%. And I just don't trust a rookie goaltender against Chicago. So if I don't even trust Ben Bishop against Chicago if he's not 100%. I mean, I know he won one game, but realistically, he looked like he was halfway about to collapse during the game, so...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not allowed to pick against my team, but given the way that we played against Vasilevsky in Game 4, and given the way we played against a literally handicapped Ben Bishop in Game 3, I don't think Tampa's goaltending is the problem.
I get that, but I still don't have a lot of faith in a team whose goaltender I can't trust in the finals, so... I mean, I think Tampa Bay has looked like a better team than you guys through quite a bit of this series, but it's really hard for me to bet on a team whose goaltending is uncertain.
I mean, Vasilevsky isn't a bad goaltender. He's just very young and raw.
Yeah, he's the number one. He was the number one prospect goaltender in the AHL last season or whatever. It was like him and John Gibson, the Ducks. So I think that he's definitely a good goaltender. I just don't think that I have faith in a guy that's 20 years old and just started his first playoff hockey game of all time. So.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be in 6 definitely. So with how the series is going, it could be 7 because it seems it's going 1-1-1-1.
And
we're having a lot of one-goal games, so.
We have not. Every game has been a one-goal game, and the Blackhawks did not win either in 2010 or 2013 at home. Both times they won on the road.
A lot of people don't win at home. I think aren't the Kings the only team in the last 6-7 years to win at home?
But that would be an argument for going 7 because Game 6 is in Chicago.
Yeah.
The team is a mess. The Blackhawks are definitely a mess. Obviously, we're basically playing 4 defensemen. The last game we slotted in Trevor Van Riemsdyk, who's been injured for basically half the year in 2 different ways, and Kimmo Timonen, who is a million years old and has generally looked not good. Johnny Oduya, who's one of our top 4 defensemen, probably is playing with a broken hand or wrist. Suspicion in Chicago is Patrick Kane is hurt. He doesn't look himself. Game 4 was the worst game I've seen from Patrick Kane in a long time. He did not look good. So the team's a mess.
Yeah.
On the flip side, though, we've already mentioned Bishop being hurt. Tyler Johnson has not taken a face-off in 2 games because supposedly his hand or wrist is also maybe broken.
I think his wrist is fractured, is my guess.
Yeah. So he has not taken a face-off in 2 games, and we still don't know why Steven Stamkos isn't setting up in the one-time slot. So, I mean, everybody's hurt by the time you get to this point in the playoffs, but it's not like Chicago. I mean, Chicago has 4 defensemen, yes, but I don't think that they're more or less banged up than Tampa Bay is.
And with one of those defensemen being Duncan Keith, they're pretty much good to go.
I mean, I disagree. I think that we are significantly more banged up than Tampa is. Tampa is not playing a 4th line, basically, and that's not necessarily in their favor, but the short-shiftedness on defense has been a huge liability for Chicago. The first goal in Game 4 was definitely on our 3rd defensive pairing. At least one, probably both of the goals in Game 3 were on that defensive pairing, which was not Timonen at the time. It was TVR and Comiskey. It's been a really big liability for us in this series. It was a liability in the Anaheim series, too. And I think that hurts us more than Tampa's injuries have hurt them. None of these games have gone to overtime thus far. But this is a Chicago series. Inevitably, we're going to overtime. And it'll hurt us in overtime. I think we're still waiting on that game, but I guarantee there will be a game that goes at least to double overtime in this series.
Yeah, it might not with the rookie goaltender, so you never know. But...
Except for they had a rookie goaltender in for all of Game 4, and we barely scored 2 goals.
That's true.
Barely. We got lucky. And we only barely stopped them at the end. Steven Stamkos missed 2 wide-open nets in the last, 45 seconds. That could easily have been an overtime game.
Luck is a big part of winning, so...
Yeah, Hossa missed a wide-open net in the 3rd game, so...
That's true. And Patrick Sharp has missed 10,000 chances Hosa too. Hosa's missed more chances than Tampa has basically had. But the way we played the first period of Game 4 was just absolutely abysmal hockey. The way it's worked basically is that the team that plays the better game has lost almost every game this series. You know, Chicago played the better Game 2, we lost. Tampa totally outplayed us in Game 1, except for the last 10 minutes, we won. Game 3 was one of our best games since the Minnesota series, and Tampa won. And Game 4 was obviously not a particularly good showing. So I don't know if we're waiting for the next level of the Blackhawks or whether we've run out of the next level. But this is not the Blackhawks that won the Anaheim series. I think that I and a lot of Blackhawks fans are pretty concerned. So it's interesting to hear from you guys that you seem quite confident.
We're not as, I guess the best way to put it is, we don't look too deeply at the team, I guess, as you do as a fan.
No, I mean, I do. I mean, I look at each team, and I think this series has been great. It's been exciting. But I still I guess maybe I'm just sticking to the fact that Chicago has more experience and has proven itself in the last few years. Whereas I still don't know if Tampa Bay has what it takes, I guess. And I don't know that at the start of this season or the start of this playoffs, I would have made a case for Tampa Bay to win this. And so, I don't know. I still have my doubts about Tampa Bay from top to bottom. I think that they are playing really well right now, like I said, and I could definitely see them winning, but I still don't think that they will.
I don't really understand anything about what you just said, to be honest.
He feels that Tampa's too young.
Is my mic cutting out?
Right now.
No, I understood your words. I don't understand your comments. Every team has to win once for the first time, you know? You could have said the exact same thing about the Blackhawks in 2010. The comparison that people have been making is to that Oilers-Islanders series at the end of the Islanders dynasty and the beginning of the Oilers one. But to be honest, I don't think experience matters that much at this point in the playoffs. Maybe it matters to get you to this point, but, you know, Tyler Johnson was a revelation in the playoffs. He doesn't have any playoff experience. And Marian Hossa's got a ton, and he's missing every single empty net. So, to me, like, as a fan, and obviously, like, I'm pretty invested in this, and I'm pretty nervous about it. But to me, as a fan, the like rationale that Chicago is going to win because they have more experience is not persuasive. You know, I see a Tampa team with a lot of speed, with a forecheck that's making it really hard for us to get organized and consistent zone entries, that's breaking up scoring chances.
That is one thing I was a little bit worried about with you guys, and I said this on the other podcast I do for Last Word, and I said, listen, after all the beating that Chicago just took from Anaheim, where they got out-hit by like 80 or something, I was wondering how they were going to transition to against a team with so much more speed than Anaheim has, because as somebody that played defense, I can tell you that I could take a beating if, you know, over a course of a certain amount of games. But chasing guys around will tire me out a lot quicker. And when you only have 4 defensemen and you're constantly dealing with fast guys all the time, I was wondering if that was going to affect Chicago's defense.
You know, I don't. The thing that's affected us, I don't think, is so much on defense. Duncan Keith and Nick Hjalmarsson, Johnny Oduya, even though he can only use one hand, and even Brent Seabrook, who's not always so fast, are keeping up with these guys pretty well.
Well, no, I meant just like a defensive game as a whole. Like, when you're constantly chasing people, you tire out a lot quicker.
I think the place where it's hurting us the most is on our offense, which is that the game is so fast that we're having trouble establishing possession. And we're used to being the faster team. We almost always are. We're faster than Nashville for sure. We're faster than Anaheim. Minnesota's got some fast guys, but on the whole, we're a faster, more mobile team than they are. And so to play a team that probably has the edge in speed, I think has been very disorienting. And actually, I think the guys who have adjusted to it the best are the guys who maybe are used to getting outskated. Marcus Kruger looks good. Marian Hossa looks good, although he's missed a lot of chances. Guys who aren't necessarily so fast. But, you know, Patrick Kane looks terrible. Patrick Sharp has had good games and bad games. Jonathan Toews looks good. I'll give him that. Jonathan Davis looks really good, which is nice because he's almost always injured at this point.
He's definitely
Yeah,
coming through
he
with
has
you guys.
definitely played better. He's probably been your best player through the series.
Duncan Keith has been our best player through the series.
I would say Duncan Keith has been your best player in the playoffs, and I think he is the Conn Smythe winner right now.
If we win.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, Taves looks like the only one that I guess you could say that, sure. I could make a case for either one. But I feel like I've noticed Taves more. But obviously that's a good thing when you don't necessarily notice your defenseman too much because then he's not making mistakes.
Right.
But I definitely have felt like Taves has made his presence known more so than Keith. So, but I could definitely see you saying that.
Brandon Dodd has also had a really good series. His playoffs as a whole haven't been Conn Smythe-worthy, but even in the games where he hasn't scored this series, he's been one of our better players. And Corey Crawford has had a great series. Well, yeah. No, that's not true. Corey Crawford let in 2 terrible goals in Game 2 and 3. He played a great Game 4.
Yes, he did.
I said that and was immediately wrong, so my apologies. No one was harder on Corey Crawford for that goal against the post in Game 2 than I was. I was so mad.
That goal against the post? Oh, when he Michael Leightoned it?
Basically. That was atrocious. So I was at a bar. So there's a bar in D.C. that is a Chicago bar. They play Cubs games, they play Blackhawks games, they play Bulls games. They play Bears games during the season. And they serve old style and Chicago dogs, Chicago liquor. And so I went with a friend who's a Cats fan, and she picked up a phone call during the game as we were watching it. And that was when that goal against the power play goal was scored on Corey Crawford. And the bartender looks at her and goes, like, "This is your fault. Vic answered your phone." And hands her a shot. And she is like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "I don't get why you're punishing me by giving me a free shot." And she thinks it's whiskey. And she drinks it, and it's Jepson's Malort. If you're not familiar with Malort, it is a Chicago liquor that is basically a tire fire in a glass. It's a way to haze newcomers to Chicago, basically.
What's in it?
That's a great question, actually. What is in Malort? It's a million years old. It's Swedish. It's kind of like licorice-y.
I've worked at a bar for a very long time, and I've never heard of it, so that's why I'm curious.
It's just Chicago.
It's obviously got to be a regional thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's only made in Chicago. It was originally Swedish. It became like a workers' drink, like a dock workers and meat packers kind of drink. And then it became it had a revival recently. It's very bitter. There was recently a thing about they gave it to a bunch of sommeliers and asked them to describe it, which is hilarious.
We have a scoring update, by the way. Manchester Monarchs just scored with 2.5 or like 10 seconds left in the period. And it is now 5-2 at the end of the second period for the Manchester Monarchs in Game 4 of the AHL Finals.
What's the series at right now?
Series is at 2-1 Manchester. All 3 games have been 1-goal games, though. And the first 2 games went to overtime. It's been a very good series. This is the first game where a team has really started to pull away from one of the others. So,
all right, I have a couple of Malort slogans for you guys. Malort, the champagne of pain. Malort, nice. The most disgusting liquid of all time with an hour-long aftertaste. Malort is basically like drinking pesticide. Let's see. Malort.
The elixir
when you need to unfriend someone in person.
It's apparently the elixir of Marion Hossa, though. Apparently he likes it.
It's wormwood. It's made with wormwood.
Oh, no wonder it's horrible.
Yeah. But it's a Chicago tradition. And so she takes
Apparently, it's alleged to be a cure for indigestion.
you know what? I bet it does cure indigestion. Much in the same way that cutting off your hands will solve a paper cut.
Wormwood
but
can cause epileptic seizures.
So she takes this shot and is just like drinks it and then like makes this face. It was unbelievable. And immediately is like
wormwood is the same stuff that's used in absinthe, by the way. So
yeah, but absinthe is good.
No, it's not. It tastes like black licorice.
Yeah, if you like black licorice, look, absinthe makes Malort. Absinthe is to Malort the way that like I'm trying to think of a good metaphor here. Absinthe is to Malort the way that a bottle of champagne is to apple juice that has been carbonated by being left in the sun for 3 hours.
Nice.
Okay? Like, you don't understand. Come to Chicago, let Ben take you out. You'll find out.
Apparently, my lord is the Swedish word for wormwood. So, that's kind of where the name came from.
The more you know. But somehow it's become deeply associated with the Blackhawks.
It's because of Marian Hossa. It's his drink of choice.
Yeah, I don't know how that, like, urban legend started. I 100% guarantee you that Marian Hossa has never had Malort.
He could have.
If any Chicagoan gave Marian Hossa Malort, they would be immediately excommunicated.
He could like it, for all you know.
No one likes Malort. People say they do, and people are lying. For a while, in like 2012, it got to be trendy to use it in craft cocktails, which was just a disaster. Anyways, the point was, Corey Crawford's had some good games and some bad games, but he looked great in Game 4.
How do we get Malort from that?
Oh, because Julie had to take a shot because she answered answered her phone at the bar. So the long story short is actually don't answer your phone at a bar. And the really long
Are there
story
any
short,
other teams that have some sort of drink tradition?
No, not drink.
Flyers have tasty cakes.
Yeah, we have the case of tasty cakes for every goal.
That's true.
The
Ducks used to. Well, they didn't have drinks, but they until this last season for years, if they scored 5 goals, they gave away 5 wings at Hooters.
Apparently, Tasty Cake used to actually send whoever scored a goal a box of Tasty Cakes.
The Kings have the McFlurry Minute. If we score a goal in the last minute of the second period, everybody gets free McFlurries from McDonald's.
The Predators have something like that. Like if 5 goals are scored, everyone gets a free McFlurry or something.
For the Flyers, if we score 3 or more goals in a game and we win, we get 50% off Papa John's the next day.
I think the Islanders did something like that too.
Last year, when 2 years ago, I guess technically now, the year when it was they got rid of the 3 goals situation, so it's if we win. But then we started winning, so it was almost a free Papa John's every day. So, yeah. So.
I'm sure there are. If your team has a drinking tradition and you're listening in, go ahead and let us know. We will read out what we get. But a lot of teams have those free promo kind of giveaway things. I don't know how many teams have like an actual Malort-style tradition. Malort is in many ways quite unique.
I mean, Yuengling is kind of associated with the Flyers, but that's because we have the brewery right near us. But it's not really a tradition to drink it.
I mean, I'm sure the team would not sanction this tradition, but it is. Malort and the Blackhawks are linked forever.
Yeah. So I guess we'll head on to the next topic, which is going to be a fun topic here. The entire Glendale situation.
This is ridiculous. Like, I get...
Yes.
Here's the thing. I know a lot has been said about this already. I know that, Ari, you're going to be a lawyer someday. But it's so dumb to me that a city would do this and shoot themselves in the foot by breaking a contract with a major sports team that not only makes their city look bad to other potential people that would want to come there, but also, like, almost 100% guarantee you're going to get sued for this, in which case you're going to lose money, and you're not going to make any money off the team back if potentially teams will eventually make money. They keep saying they're losing money, but they keep losing less and less money, which means it looks like at some point they're eventually going to get over the hump and start being in the black instead of the red. The NHL and the ownership of the team is committed to the city. It's just so dumb to me.
And not only all that, but you're going to destroy the local economy if this team moves. I mean, they opened
I don't
up
know
an
about
entire
that.
they opened up an entire west, I think it's Westgate district they kind of have there. That is a lot of businesses around the arena. But when the team leaves, those businesses aren't going to get as much, business, which they're going to force them to close.
I definitely don't think the local economy of Glendale is going to be that hurt if the Coyotes move.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of studies that show that unless you're in a small market with generally like a minor league team or something like that, that losing your team doesn't affect your economy too much. Most major cities, when they lose or gain a professional team, don't see their economy affected that much unless they get a major sporting event, not just normal regular season. But like one of the reasons that LA it's taken so long to get a football team here, besides many different things, but anybody that wants to build a stadium here want it to be guaranteed like 2 or 3 Super Bowls within 10 years because they know they'll make a shitload of money on those. But actually making money on the regular season, they don't make too much on.
I know that I think it was one of the people from the Coyotes said they were working on bringing the juniors there, something with the World Juniors. So that would have brought a lot of money to
And the
Glendale.
NCAA, they wanted to bring
Yeah.
the Frozen Four there.
I mean, yeah, they're having University of Arizona coming to become a D1 team. So this is definitely gonna hurt Glendale in the long run.
I'm not sure that it will hurt Glendale in the long run. I think you're thinking about it from the wrong perspective. A lot of those things are going to benefit Phoenix and won't necessarily benefit Glendale. Also, I don't know how much Glendale is really worried about the economy, to be honest. Um, the team does have cost the city a lot of money. The arena deal is expensive. They said they're worried about the Coyotes being able to pay it. But the fact of the matter is there are a ton of unanswered questions, and like, yes, I'm gonna go to law school, but the legalities around this have been very confusing. The team just got a temporary restraining order on the city, which is
That
very
confused me. I don't
confusing.
understand that whatsoever.
They're making conflicting bond claims about who should pay who during this process. A judge just ruled that the Coyotes have to pay like $250,000 in bonds to the city. Very confusing. Apparently, the city of Glendale has not paid the Coyotes what they owe for this year, so like $3 million in the hole to the Coyotes. And the court schedule for this has been vastly. I mean, any legal procedure takes a long time, but they tried to expedite it, and it won't be expedited, which means the first hearing won't even be until after free agency begins. So the Coyotes aren't really gonna be able to sign a lot of free agents with that much uncertainty around the team. It's really gonna hurt. Apparently, this all came out of the blue, too. There was a meeting last Tuesday that the Coyotes lawyers described as an ambush. Obviously, it only then broke Wednesday that there was going to be a city council meeting. Well, Thursday was the council meeting, and now Friday, we're looking at months of legal arguments about Glendale.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, they're probably going to play there next year, but I think I think the Coyotes are in real trouble right now.
I know
I
there's
don't know how
rumors.
much of it is their fault.
Yeah. What was that?
I don't know how much of it is their fault. I think a lot of it is the city of Glendale's fault. But
They,
Arizona also knew, or the Coyotes also knew that Glendale didn't really want them. So in the sense that they signed an agreement to stay 5 years to the city that didn't really want them, I guess you can bring it back to them. But it seems like a lot of this has been the city taking it upon itself to play judge, jury, and executioner.
I mean, I think one of the councilmen of Arizona or Phoenix at least, is trying to bring them back to Phoenix, and is hoping. And I know that a lot of the Coyote fans are hoping to make a deal with the Arizona Sun, I think it is, to get an arena together, which I think would be great having them move back to downtown Phoenix.
Yes, it would.
So,
But the key arena is terrible for hockey.
you know that I think that's why they are planning to get with the Sun and have build a new arena together for them both to be housed in. Which definitely would be a great idea if it's able to go through.
Yeah, that's a lot of money and a lot of time.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is happening now, and who knows if it will happen in time. That would all be built in time.
I mean, also the question of what time is a big question. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't know what the timeline for this is. We don't know what the timeline for the Coyotes to figure this out is. We don't even know what the time frame is to finish the opening of the legal salvo, basically.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of questions unanswered.
I think the worst case scenario for the Coyotes right now is they don't reach an agreement, they can't get Phoenix to build them a stadium, and they end up relocating to Las Vegas.
I mean, is that a worst case scenario? Because that seems like a pretty okay scenario. Obviously, it's
in my opinion, yeah. I guess it's not the worst case, but for the fans, it is. I think the best case for the team and maybe the fans is what you said in getting the Suns to work with them to build a new stadium in Phoenix, which is where I think they would draw more people, especially if it's downtown. And I hope that they do.
Yeah. You never want to see a fan base lose their team, especially after the outpouring that we saw at the meeting. Like there were some really great fans that showed up.
Yeah.
It was really fun to listen to how passionate they were about their team. So it's definitely a situation that's gonna take a while to come to fruition and all that. So I guess we just kind of have to wait to see how it all ends, or even starts.
I suspect it'll end with a renegotiation.
Say that again?
I suspect it'll end with a renegotiation of the arena contract.
Oh, so you think they're going to stay in Glendale?
For the next 4 years, yeah, probably. Okay. I don't think that you can get another arena in downtown Phoenix built for them before that time, and I don't think they're interested really in moving before that time. But the fan base, I mean, what the team desperately needs is stability, and unfortunately, they're basically locked into instability right now. And look, like, I hate the Coyotes, and frankly, I understand that they have lots of fans who would love to have them stay, but I don't care if they move. But I doubt that they're moving, given the fact that expansion is happening.
Yeah, expansion is definitely the most preferred thing, because that is a big expansion fee check that the NHL would get.
Yeah, expansion is happening, and at least two teams are going to get added. And so adding two teams in addition to having to relocate Glendale would be very much the opposite of an ideal situation for the NHL.
Yeah.
So I suspect they stay. I mean, at least we're going to have something to post on our hockey during the summer. Because we've already begun the thank you post to the subreddit, which is my least favorite part of the off-season.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for the inevitable Drew moment to appear during the off-season. Because, 2 years ago, Drew blew up a golf club. Last year, he got arrested, so I'm just waiting for what happens to him this year. That's kind of what I'm waiting for this off-season. What's your favorite parts of the off-season? You had to pick one.
I love July 1st.
The what?
I love July 1st. Free agency, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I like the draft. It's my favorite.
Draft is really fun to watch for some reason.
We were talking earlier before Dave showed up about the fact that we think it's going to be a really fun draft because there are a lot of teams that are looking for draft picks. Blackhawks want a first, a couple other teams want a first. I think I heard the Penguins wanted a second. And a lot of teams are close to the cap, so I think that we'll see a lot of movement right before draft day and sort of on draft day, which is the best for everyone. Makes good viewing.
It's definitely going to be a fun lead up to the draft, which is the 26th this year, so it's actually not that far away. 2 weeks today.
Especially given that we don't know what the cap is going to be yet. When do we find out what the cap is going to be?
It has to be.
You won't know until after the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
So we'll know before the draft, right?
I don't know about that yet.
I'm not sure. It might be. When was it released the past couple of years?
Well, we have to know before free agency, which is July 1st.
Yes, we do.
So I would suspect we know before the draft.
Mm-hmm. Or else, yeah, they're probably a little bit after the playoffs.
Because it does sound like now that players are probably going to use the full 5% escalator, but if they don't, there are a lot of teams that are in trouble, which could make for a really good draft day.
Mm-hmm.
But we shall see.
Well, speaking of the draft, the heights and weights of all the players were announced this week, and they were doing camp, and Jack Eichel pretty much was awesome. I don't think Connor McDavid blew anybody away with his repetitions and physical abilities, but obviously hockey is not all just physique, and we know that there's a lot of players that haven't necessarily performed the greatest in those, but
18-year-old Sam Bennett.
yes, I don't think Wayne Gretzky was necessarily the most intimidating physical force.
Also, to be honest, if you're a player who is anticipated to go in the first round of the draft and you don't impress at the combine, that just means as you get on an NHL training regimen, you're going to get better.
Yeah, that's generally the case.
It's almost terrifying that Connor McDavid wasn't that good, because that means Connor McDavid's only getting better. Like, that's not great, as someone who plays in the Western Conference.
Yeah. Have fun with him. We just have to deal with Jack Eichel.
I did read a thing the other day that Duncan Keith's oxygen intake test is either the NHL record for defensemen or close to the NHL record for defensemen. Apparently, he was even ridiculous at 18. But yeah, to be honest, I haven't paid very close attention to the draft rankings and that kind of thing, because we don't have a first-round draft pick.
I kind of watch it on and off. I haven't really been paying attention much. So.
I didn't realize you guys didn't have a first round. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we gave it up for Antoine Vermette.
You're in the finals. Can't really complain.
And he won it in that overtime game for us. Antoine Vermette's been quite good in the playoffs. He was abysmal in the regular season. But I've been quite happy with his acquisition in the playoffs, so I can't complain.
We have 2 first rounds, and I'm quite happy about that. Though the one is going to be 29th or 30th. But I can honestly see us trading that for something. Like packaging it with one of our defensemen.
You want Patrick Sharp?
No, packaging it. No,
I know.
Patrick Sharp, no.
I will take a first-round draft pick and a defenseman for Patrick Sharp. In fact, I will make that trade right now.
No, I'm good. No, I'm good. We'll probably go for a left wing, hopefully.
Patrick Sharp can play left wing.
No, I'm good.
And of course, there are a number of players who are available to be offer sheeted. The Kings have, Tyler Toffoli?
That's our primary focus. I don't think he's going anywhere. Somebody might give him an offer sheet, but I don't think the Kings are going to let him go. We're probably going to lose Jared Stoll, realistically. And if the cap doesn't go up enough, we're probably going to lose Justin Williams as well.
I had a dream the other night. He signed a contract.
Say again?
I had a dream the other night that Justin Williams signed a contract.
With who?
I don't know. With the Kings. It was a nightmare, is what I'm trying to say. That I'm at the point where I have nightmares about Justin Williams. It was something ridiculous. It was 4 years and $4 million a year. But which would be an unreal price to get Justin Williams at.
Eh,
Obviously, Brendan Saad on the Blackhawks has been the target of much speculation.
there's Dougie Hamels on the Bruins. There's quite a few people that can be offer sheeted this year. Now, if we see it, who knows? Because offer sheet is kind of still, I guess, considered taboo in the NHL for some reason. Like,
I mean,
It's because you don't want to piss off another general manager.
yeah.
and it's a pretty risky thing to do.
I mean, you do have to give up draft picks to do it. That's the thing.
And if it doesn't work, then you piss off another general manager and not accomplish anything.
Yeah.
Mikael Granlund for the Wild is up for a contract, and the Wild are kind of close to the cap. So someone I saw was speculating the other day that if they pay Devin Dubnyk, who apparently contract talks are not going well with Dubnyk, and if they pay him, Granlund could be available for an offer sheet they might not be able to match.
I wonder where he will go.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's obviously
Yeah.
there are many different moving parts in that situation. They may not pay Devin Dubnyk if he wants too much money.
They have $10 million in cap space, so I guess they could try to find a way to sign him. Though they are missing quite a few spots, I guess. And, yeah, as you said, Devin Dubnyk does want a lot of money for some reason.
I mean, he had a Cinderella story year. I would never.
He's going to regress to the mean a little bit, at least. He's going to regress a little bit. He won't be as, big for them probably this year coming up. Because this year was all about saving his NHL career.
I mean, there's also the question of whether they still believe in Darcy Kemper, who was supposed to be the guy this year. Is Darcy Kemper ruined forever? The Wild ruined Darcy Kemper, is what I'm asking.
Didn't he kick like a door? Didn't he like kick a wall or something?
No, that was the other goalie.
Oh, Harding.
That was Josh Harding.
Okay, I knew what other goaltenders did. I just couldn't remember who.
No, Kemper was just bad.
Okay.
To be fair, he got concussed during the Avalanche series, and then I think he got concussed again at the beginning of the season, and I'm not sure he ever really healed. So that may be part of his problem.
I know Minnesota fans were definitely talking about that. The entire time he's been up, he's kind of gone up and down. When he's on, but the games he's off, he's terrible. So it could just be an ebb and flow situation with him until he's kind of situated.
I mean, sometimes he may never get situated. And he did almost sink their season last year, so I don't know if they're willing to take that chance. But on the other hand, Devin Dubnyk was fine. He's replacement level. And there's going to be a lot of goalies in the market. Antti Niemi is gone. The Blackhawks kind of have a goalie logjam with 3 NHL goalies and obviously only 2 spots. There are a number of other goalies in the market. Names escape me at the moment. Brian Elliott is supposed to move, I think.
And Ross is going to be available, and he's okay enough for a backup role, at least.
Something is happening with the Blues goalies. God only knows what.
Let's see who's... Come on, open up.
But so, if they don't sign Devin Dubnyk, I think that they could pretty much replace him. But I don't know if the organization's willing to... I think the organization would like to commit to him, given what he did for them this year.
Currently, the biggest names so far are Antti Niemi is free agent, Jonathan Bernier, Victor Fast, Michael.
Was Jonathan Bernier? He's a unrestricted free agent?
He's an RFA.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean Braden Holtby is an RFA, but he's getting paid, so we don't really have to worry about him leaving. He ain't leaving Washington.
Yeah, he is their number 1 priority.
I'm pretty sure Toronto's going to hold on to Jonathan Bernier.
Yeah, he's gonna be getting a pretty decent pay raise. Is he still splitting with their other goaltender whose name is
Weimer?
Yeah.
No, he was supposed to be the guy this year. I'm not sure how much Jonathan Bernier wants to stay in Toronto.
That is true.
Which is a consideration.
He's got a new coach and a new... I mean...
They are starting to slowly turn it around, but they did just commit to a full rebuild, and
Yeah,
you
I mean,
might
they're
not want
about
to
to
be
trade
there
every
for
good
that.
player on their team.
I mean, they could probably get a good like a good deal for him if they try to trade him away.
You don't really get returns on goalies, though.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I mean we saw that with the Corey Schneider trade. So
Yeah, all I got for one of the best goalies in the NHL is Bo Horvat, who's good, but he's no Corey Schneider.
yeah,
And frankly, I would trade Corey Crawford for Corey Schneider. I'd be pretty happy with it.
I think anybody would be happy with Corey Schneider. So
Yeah, where the devil's at.
he basically pulled them kicking and screaming to not last place.
Unfortunately for the Devils.
And there's a good amount of goalies getting ready this year.
I don't know, do you guys think that anyone will get an offer sheet? It's been a while since we've seen one.
When was the last offer sheet? Was that the Shea Weber offer sheet?
Weber?
Was it the Shea Weber or there wasn't one after that?
Oh my god.
Certainly not a big name one.
Wasn't O'Reilly offer sheeted? Or was that before Shea Weber?
God, I can't remember. There was a Ryan O'Reilly offer sheet, I think.
Let's see if...
Oh yeah, I think that might be true.
I'm just trying to remember.
It's kind of hard to look up.
No, it's not. I have an NHL page right here. There's
Yeah, they matched it in
Wikipedia.
2013.
Yeah, it was O'Reilly on almost a year later. So
I remember that. It was the lockout year.
yeah, February 28th, 2013, he signed it.
Stupid lockout year.
I forgot because Colorado was so bad that year.
They turned it around for one season.
Okay, they got lucky.
Yeah, their advanced stats said they shouldn't have been where they were.
And I have enjoyed every single minute. That's great. I can't wait till they're bad again next year.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something.
And in fact, before Shea Weber, the last offer sheet was Nick Dolmerson. San Jose signed him to. San Jose made an offer, and we matched the contract. I forgot that. Good times. That was the 2010 Capocalypse.
Timo Solani was offer sheeted?
By who?
He was offer sheeted by the Flames in '92.
Oh, I remember that. In 1992.
You don't remember that? Were you even born that already?
No, but I've read about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was like recently since the lockout.
No.
Okay.
92. A long time ago, but he was still offer sheeted for $2.7 million.
Hey, in 1992, that was a lot of money.
Yeah. Though it doesn't say the amount of years. But, yeah. Martin McSorley was offer sheeted.
Did you know that Scott Stevens was offer sheeted?
I was just about to say Scott Stevens was offer sheeted.
I did know that one.
That one, no. I remember the Joe Sakic offer sheet. I remember that.
Yeah. Sergei Fedorov. Oh, the Ryan Kessler situation.
Because I remember that one time the Flyers tried to sign Ryan Kessler. He would be a great fit for your team.
Yeah, he would.
He's surly and... No, he plays defense, though. So, not a great fit for your team.
Ryan Kessler?
Yeah, he would have sucked you, dude.
Oh, I thought you meant defense as in he was a defenseman.
No, he's a defensive forward.
Okay. I mean, we have pretty good defensive forwards, thank you very much.
Okay.
Sean Couturier is not a bad defensive forward, thank you very much.
I mean, my standards are we have a line of Marian Hossa, Jonathan Taves, and Brendan Saad.
I mean, Claude Giroux is honestly a very good defensive forward. Sean Couturier is, when he's older and starts putting up points consistency, will probably be Selke worthy. At least not like in talks of it.
Would you really call Claude Giroux a defensive forward?
He plays a lot on our penalty kill, and used to be on our top penalty kill when Mike Richards was here.
Patrick Kane plays.
He's also one of the best face-off men in the league.
Yeah, that's honestly why he plays on the penalty kill.
Yeah. Claude Giroux takes more face-offs than almost anybody in the league.
I just don't know if I'm convinced that he's like he's obviously an elite player.
Mhm.
I'm not convinced that I would consider him a defensive forward.
Guys, we have a scoring update.
How much does the Monarchs score now?
One more. So
So
it's
it is
62.
62 now. How much?
Or are they reviewing this goal? I don't know. Something's paused. I don't know why, because I don't have the sound on. But they are not progressing the game, so I don't know if it's under review or not.
No. Thomas Vanek was offer sheeted.
Yeah.
Oh, they're changing goalies. Okay. Haha.
Who are they playing?
Utica Comets, who are the Vancouver Canucks AHL team. But what's why I laughed at that is because Utica's goaltender, Jakob Markstrom.
Oh, it's Markstrom.
Yeah, he's been amazing in these playoffs. So the fact that we've racked up 6 goals on him, that's why I said haha, because he is the only reason that we didn't destroy them in one game.
I mean, he's
the only reason that they've pretty much made it to the finals. So he's probably, if Utica ends up coming back and winning this series, he'll probably win MVP of these playoffs, in my opinion.
I mean, he's basically an NHL goaltender. He was splitting time with Eddie Lack at the end of the Canucks season last year.
Yeah.
RFA this year.
And yes, that's another problem, is the goaltending issues in Vancouver will continue because I don't think that they want to lose him.
The goaltending issues. It will never change there. They should have never brought in Miller, honestly.
Well, moving on to other stuff, yeah. Detroit got a new head coach, which we all figured they would get.
Yeah, and it was the exact same guy we all thought they would do.
We talked about that last week, but no surprise. They continue to do the Red Wing thing, and I think everybody's okay with it. I don't know any Red Wings fans that are like, oh, shit.
I think everyone kind of just assumed he would be moved up anyway, so it was kind of expected. Yeah. What's next? I don't know if do we have anything else we wanted to cover?
I have a note here that says slow descent into Les Mis madness.
Go ahead, Ari.
So I don't know what that's about because I wasn't here when you wrote that, but I'm going to guess. Let me think. No idea. What is your NHL comparison to Les Mis?
Oh God, I can go all day.
No, we could make many, but I'm talking about this one.
Well, this was not a specific NHL comparison. It's just that I have slowly been descending into Les Miserables madness. I described it to Ryan as I'm spiraling, and I don't know when I'm gonna hit the ground. But I've just recently was reminded on June 5th of my love for Les Miserables, and ever since then it's just been sort of a downhill slippery slope, diving right back into everything associated with Les Mis. I've begun to consider reading the novel, which is a mistake, because it is 1,900 pages.
Yeah, I've never read the novel, but I've seen the play on Broadway, and I've also seen it in London, and it's fantastic. I love the movies.
I haven't seen the movie, actually, but I've seen the musical a couple times.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's fantastic.
It's a great
Even though I'm not a huge musical guy. Like, I don't go out looking for musicals, but if there's a good musical, I will definitely enjoy it, and that is obviously a classic for a reason.
The music is unbelievable.
Yes.
Really great. I don't know, who would be... Should we go through a Les Mis comparison?
I have never seen it, so you can go ahead.
I was working on one for the Blackhawks the other day, but the character relationships in Les Mis are so complicated, it's hard to get something perfect. I may have to work on it a little bit longer before I'm ready to present to the class.
Yeah, I think I would have to work on that a little bit too. I think before he went to Toronto, Brandon Shanahan could have been Inspector Deferred. I mean, as the head of player safety, obviously.
Is Jean Valjean as Matt Cook?
No! No! I mean, I guess maybe.
Constantly chasing him and can never quite catch him.
And then he turns over a new leaf.
Yeah, with, I don't know, Zach Parise can be Cosette.
As someone who's never seen this musical, I am so confused.
Sorry.
And if Zach Parise is Cosette, then Ryan Suter is Marius. Which I think makes Miko Koivu Enjolras, which is an amazing comparison. You're welcome, Minnesota Wild. Enjolras, Dave, and for those of you listening who have no idea what we're talking about, Enjolras is the revolutionary leader. Les Miserables is the story of the 1832, excuse me, failed French uprising. And it's a very complicated story. Like I said, the book is 1,900 pages. But about half of it is about this revolutionary cohort of students. And they have this charismatic leader named Enjolras, who is supposed to be blonde, and he's like a god, and he's very fiery and passionate. And so comparing him to Miko Koivu is hilarious, because Miko Koivu is known for many things, and none of them are being fiery and passionate.
So if Zach Parise is Cosette, does that mean that Lou Lamoriello is Fantine?
Yes. It also means that Shea Weber is Eponine.
Oh.
Oh my god. I think if Shea Weber is Eponine, then Roman Yossi is Gavroche.
Wow. Wow.
This is a beautiful comparison.
Y'all are just saying names.
I'm sorry, Dave. You should have seen this. It's a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic. Go watch Les Mis, Dave.
It's a classic book, a classic play, a classic movie. Like, I don't know how you have missed this one, but I would definitely say that even though there was an old Les Mis movie from like 15, 20 years ago or whatever, I personally think that the one from 2012 is better.
I didn't even know there was one before the 2012 one.
Yeah, there was an older one, which wasn't terrible, but I watched it after I originally saw the play in '97 in London, and then I saw it in like the 2000s in New York on Broadway, and then I watched the original movie, and then I obviously saw the new one as well. I think the new movie is fantastic, and all the performers in the movie actually sing as well. So
yeah, and it won a number of Oscars, I think.
yeah. So Anne Hathaway won Best Supporting Actress for that.
It also has the Wolverine in it, so you can't go wrong there.
Yeah, although Wolverine can't sing.
He's not terrible. He's not as bad as Russell Crowe.
Yeah, the sad thing about Russell Crowe was that Javert has some of the best songs in the musical. Stars and Javert's Suicide are two of my favorites, but not so good in the movie. But you know what? It's still great. You'll be touched. You'll cry.
You probably won't cry, Dave, but you'll still be touched. Oh wait, do you cry in movies?
No.
No, yeah, you're not gonna cry then. But it is still an emotional piece.
Okay.
I think that both men and women. That's one thing about that movie. There's not really like, even though Jean Valjean is the main character, there are many parts of that where he is not in it, and so there are many relatable characters throughout it as well.
Yeah, and it's such an incredibly complex story, which is why making an NHL comparison is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And one reason why why the play especially, or the movie, is good is because there are so many complex characters that still you relate to in such a short amount of time,
Yeah.
which is very hard to do, which is why it's so well written. I know the book is extremely long, but the people that adapted it for film and stage have done a really good job over the years of making it so that you relate to everybody within a couple-hour period.
And it's one of those stories too that's really lasted, has an incredible staying power. I was in my Les Mis spiral the other day, and I learned that after Abraham Lincoln's assassination, there was a very popular play that was put on that compared him to Enjolras, the leader of the revolution in Les Mis. And so it's funny to think about that now. Like, we have a musical and we have a movie about it, etc. There's a big fandom around it. And in 1865, people were also writing poems and plays and music about it. So, very interesting.
It's not currently on Netflix, so I can't watch it there. But according to Netflix, the TV show Daredevil is a lot like Les Miserables, and I'm really confused about this.
Is Matt Murdock in Miserable?
He might be.
I'm sure I can find somewhere. I told Alec I would find him somewhere to watch it online. So, I'll see what I can do.
I mean, I guess you could make some comparisons to Les Mis. I mean, I guess Kingpin is sort of like Javert, where he's doing things that he feels are right, even though not everybody would agree with his methods. I don't know. I would have to see a comparison to Daredevil. I've watched Daredevil, but off the top of my head, I can't really see all the comparisons to
I'm just wondering
that.
when the actors are in the movie. That's why. That could be all it is. When the actors could be the same.
I don't. You know who is in that?
Hmm.
Matt Murdock's best friend in the movie is played by what's his name? Eldon Hansen, who was Fulton Reed in the Mighty Ducks movies.
Wow! Full circle.
Getting back to hockey. So, yeah.
I don't know, I'm still thinking, I'm still working on this Les Mis hockey comparison in my head. Because you can do one that's like just a team. Like, I could try and do like just the Blackhawks one, but it's better if it's the whole NHL. And if it's the
That's
whole
right,
NHL...
because players move around and characters in Les Mis move around, and so...
But it is, if it is the whole NHL, do we think that Gary Bettman is Inspector Javert, or is Gary Bettman the king, and he's like not really part of the story except by his presence?
See, that's why I kind of felt like Brendan Shanahan was a better comparison. But, because it's got to be somebody in the NHL that oversees things. I guess it could be Gary Bettman as well.
I mean, otherwise it could be like Craig McTavish, someone who's like constantly chasing like things, you know?
Yeah.
Or it could be someone who's, well, I was gonna say someone who's constantly chasing a cup could be like a Inspector Javert figure, but it doesn't work.
No. So who did you say Marius was? You said that was Ryan Suter?
Oh, well, if Zach Parisi is Cosette, then Ryan Suter has to be Marius, because they're reunited together forever.
That's
And
true.
if Ryan Suter is Marius, then his jilted lover is Shea Weber, so he must be Eponine. And Eponine's little brother is Gavroche, and so now we've got Roman Yossi as a 12-year-old street urchin who rats out spies for the revolution, which is a great mental image, frankly. But then we run all the other side characters of the revolutionaries. I don't know, we've got enough personalities in the wild to get Combeferre and Courfeyrac and everyone else. Grantaire, my favorite.
Who is?
Grantaire. He's one of the revolutionaries. He's the one... I don't want to spoil everyone who's listening. Grantaire is one of the revolutionaries. But... yeah, Lou Lamoriello is Fantine. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I'm still confused. I see no similarities in actors between these two. But oh, okay.
I'm sorry, Dave.
Alright. We've gone off on a big tangent here. Dave, what are you doing?
Why are you capturing us?
I didn't mean to. Haha! You're like Pokemon. I gotta catch you all.
Okay then.
That's amazing. I've always wanted to be a Pokemon.
What type
Wow.
of Pokemon would you be if you were one?
Mm, I'd be a Ponyta.
Would you?
I think that Ponyta and I are equally fiery. I think Ponyta is the most truculent Pokemon.
I've never played Pokemon, so I don't really know.
What would be a
Please
good
tell us
what
in
would
the
be a good one
comments
for him?
what. Please tell us in the comments what Pokemon you think is the most truculent. It's been a while since we've had a contest. This is my new contest for you guys. Please tell us in the comments which Les Mis character is the most truculent.
No,
It's definitely Inspector Javera.
I don't think there's any doubt that it's Jean Valjean. Come on.
Inspector Javera grinds it out. He never gives up. He goes to the hard corner.
Yeah, you could make a case for either one.
I think you could also make a case for, like, Angel Ross shoots a guy, and that's pretty gritty. So, I mean, you can make cases for a lot of Les Mis characters, but I want to hear what everyone's opinion is. So tell us what Les Mis character you think is the most gritty.
Obviously, it wasn't Fantine.
Yeah, Fantine, not gritty enough.
No, nope.
I'll tell you, Brad Marchand is like totally a Thénardier. That's character assassination, but I'm fine with that. That's a pun, character assassination. Do we have anything else we want to talk about?
I don't think so.
I don't really have much. Do we want to talk about the picture you put in the sidebar? You do have that on your list.
Yeah, please tweet that out. So someone on Twitter or Tumblr, I don't know who came up with it originally, discovered this picture of Teuvo Teravainen. It'll be on the Our Hockey Cast Twitter account, and it's incredible. He can't be... How old do you think he is in that picture? 13? 12?
Probably about that. No, I thought he was 19 here.
He's basically 19 in that picture. This picture taken 2 days ago, probably. And it's really incredible.
Yeah, he's probably about 13 there. So. According to Jamish, the one that is the most gritty is the one that sings a lot. You know the one.
Good call, Jameis.
Someone named Brianna says she wants to say Grantier.
Grantier.
Because of the booze.
I don't think you can be drunk and gritty though. I think you can only be drunk after you're gritty.
You never know. And she apparently just saved that photo under her tarot folder.
It's an incredible photo.
It is.
Do you have any other? What about the most truculent Pokemon, folks?
No one's answered.
I'm going with Pikachu because he had to deal with Ash for so long.
That is the only Pokemon you know.
That's true.
I
know Charmander. I know Mewtwo. I played Smash Brothers.
I think that Squirtle is the grittiest Pokemon character because of the Squirtle squads.
Squirrel Squad is really cool.
Yeah, and that's totally a gritty thing to do.
I just love that they made a gang of Squirtles. They all have sunglasses.
But on the other hand, Magikarp is like not that talented, but works really hard to like make it to the major leagues. You know, so maybe Magikarp is the grittiest Pokemon.
And when he's called up, he does, turn into Gyarados. So.
Yeah, he's clutch. Magikarp is clutch.
Remember, Dave, when we were talking about Les Mis and you just sat there and said you didn't know what you were talking about? That's how I feel right now.
You know my pain.
Yeah. Honestly, the only experience I have with Pokemon is through Super Smash Brothers, so.
Yeah, me and Ari did kind of grow up with it, so.
Yeah, by the time that Pokemon really hit, I was already out of high school, so.
Alright, I'm gonna throw some serious shade right now. But there's this one guy who responds to every tweet I post on Twitter. And he just, like, that's fine, except for that he always replies with, like, I don't know. Or, like, what's up? And I was like, what are you doing? So I tweeted, like, which Les Miserables character is the most truculent? And he responded, I don't know. Who does that?
I don't know.
Man! I don't want to block you, dude, but I will.
He's a Bruins fan.
He's following me, too.
Yeah, he follows like
I'm
12
not
people.
following him. I don't know who this is.
I know. Aaron, if you're listening, stop doing that. It's really annoying. Anyway.
Oh, kicked in the head. Ouch.
I would never. I would maybe.
No, one of the
Who got
women
kicked in the
just
head?
got kicked in the head in this game.
Oh. That's
USA's playing Sweden. It's the Women's World Cup.
Are we winning?
It is tied 0-0, but Sweden is a very good team as well.
Are we gonna win?
We are in the final minute of the game, so I think unless we get something right now, no.
5 minute of the game, or is it in overtime right now? Or the actual game? No?
Say again?
Is it overtime or just the actual 90-minute?
This is the preliminary round, so we're just going 90 minutes.
Oh, okay. Plus whatever.
We're in group stages right now, so nothing
This is all
special.
for the Olympics coming up, right?
Yeah, we are in the Women's World Cup, Dave.
Oh, is it really right now?
Yeah.
The U.S. already won their first game.
Shows how much I pay attention.
I've seen it a ton on Twitter, but to be honest, I don't like soccer.
I can only watch soccer if it's with a group of people, personally.
When the playoffs come for the World Cup, for the Women's World Cup, I'll watch those. But for the group stage, I'm a little busy with the playoffs.
Yeah, because your team makes that.
Oh, I do have one thing to talk about with Ari.
Okay.
Hit me.
Your thoughts on the French Open.
Oh.
And how much were you annoyed with the Bryan brothers failing to win again?
Yeah, that was really annoying. I don't know what their deal is right now. I don't know, they've been a little off.
I mean, they're still the greatest doubles team of all time, but...
Oh, for sure, no question. But hopefully they can get it together at Wimbledon, which has historically been a very good tournament for them.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good tournament. Good for Stan Wawrinka to win. He played a very inspired match.
I was happy for him.
Yeah, I mean, I was rooting against Novak because I didn't want him to get a career Grand Slam because I'm an asshole. But, you know, he won the Australian Open and he played an injured Rafael Nadal there. So there were kind of some asterisks around it. And Novak was in perfect shape. He just totally got outplayed in the latter part of the match. So big congratulations to Stan Wawrinka. Serena played an incredible tournament. The fourth round, quarterfinal, and semifinal match, she lost the first set, came back to win the match, which is a huge accomplishment. She lost the second set in the final, came back to win the match. She's just played, and she was sick the whole time. Apparently she had the flu. She is just the greatest American tennis player of all time. She's really been amazing. So hopefully she'll be well for Wimbledon. Roger Federer is obviously my favorite. Roger played okay. Lost to Stan Wawrinka in what was a very good match. Since he went on to win, I can't be too mad. And it is his worst surface. But of course, the big news was that Rafael Nadal lost to Novak Djokovic.
And he dropped a 10th in the world.
Yeah, for the first time since like 2003.
Yeah.
He's definitely hurt. I don't know what his deal is, but he's definitely hurt. And people have been saying for basically his whole career that the physical style he plays is going to take a much earlier toll on his body than the way that, for example, Roger plays or the way that Andre Agassi played, sort of comparable champions. And, you know, they're probably right. It sucks to see. He's had so many health problems already, and he's only, what, 28, 29? But to not win the French Open is a big warning sign for him, even when he's 29. Even when he had that horrible tendonitis in his knees 2 years ago, he still won the French Open. So, lots to be concerned about. And it only gets harder when your rank gets lower.
Yeah.
Wimbledon's coming up soon, and that's for those of you who don't watch tennis, there are 4 major tournaments in the year, and one of them, the French Open, just ended, and the next one will be played in the middle to end of June. It usually ends right around my birthday, so it's coming up soon. And the Wimbledon is the most important tournament. All 4 are technically equal, but Wimbledon, the one that's coming up, is the most important. So
I've always found that kind of weird, seeing as tennis began in France. So
I know, but no one like.
I would think that the French Open would be like the biggest golf tournament is the Open tournament in golf, because golf was started in the UK. I don't understand why the French Open is not the biggest, scene as we get the scoring system and like love and all that from French. Like, a lot of tennis terms and just the history of tennis date back to French royalty. Like, I don't understand why Wimbledon became the biggest tournament, but I guess that's what happens when the British Kingdom is the biggest empire in the world.
I think Wimbledon may have been the first big tennis tournament. I don't know. Wimbledon was. A lot of people think that they played Wimbledon through World War II, and that's why. They did not play Wimbledon through World War II, and in fact, the Nazis bombed Center Court, Wimbledon's famous Center Court. So that's a fun fact for you, because it's easily spotted from the air. Nazis are like, okay. So there's a little tennis history for you. But it should be very interesting to see who wins Wimbledon, because Roger Federer is basically at the end of his twilight of his career, but still has a good shot to win at a tournament where he's always been a favorite. Rafael Nadal is hurt. No one even knows if he's going to play. Novak Djokovic just lost to Stan Wawrinka. Andy Murray played a great tournament up until he lost to Novak Djokovic. He's better on grass than he is on clay. Clay is by far his worst surface. Stan Wawrinka now is a 2-time champion. No one really knows what he's capable of at Wimbledon. And then, of course, there are all kinds of players like Milos Raonic and Kei Nishikori and Cilic, and people who have been dark horses to make the finals at other tournaments in the past couple of years. So we're beginning to see we're beginning to see the disintegration of the big 4 in tennis, and it's very interesting. It's almost sad, but very interesting.
You know what else I found interesting as an American? Obviously, we all love Serena and the Bryan brothers, who are good at doubles, but we haven't had a good men's singles player in a while. However, for the future, as the big 4 start to crumble and as we move into a new generation of players, the finals of the French Open for the amateurs is between 2 American kids. So
that's true, and there have been a number of moderately promising Americans at the sort of lower end of the top 50, or even top 30. None of whom are probably ever going to be world number 1. But even though we haven't had a Grand Slam champion in quite a while, we've still done pretty well on the sort of international stage. It's hard for Americans to process because we expect to be the best, but you know we've done pretty well for a nation that's not primarily a tennis playing nation.
The Monarchs have won. They now have a 3-1 lead in the series. They won 6-3 tonight, and they are going back to Manchester, I believe, for the next game. So let me just confirm that. Sometimes the AHL has a funky schedule. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. The next game is at Utica, so we have a 2-3-2 format in the AHL. So Utica could get right back in this with the win at home.
But they could also be done. It's 3-1.
That's true. Well, Manchester was the #1 team in the AHL this season. So Utica was the number 2 team. They were the number 1 team in the West, but these are the 2 best teams during the regular season. This is the first time since 2000 that the 2 number 1 teams have faced each other in the AHL. Also, both of these teams, Vancouver's AHL team has never won the Calder Cup, and the Kings AHL team has not won the Calder Cup since 1971. So, neither team's AHL affiliates have ever had very much success, so this is kind of a big deal for both.
So we got a few more responses to my "Is Magikarp the grittiest Pokemon?" question. Pam Grumpy says that Slowbro is probably the grittiest, and we should offer shoot him immediately. And Peak of Good Living says that Starmie is definitely the grittiest Pokemon, but I told him that he needs to justify himself immediately. So we'll find that more. And Bob Spencer says that Sandshrew is obviously the grittiest Pokemon. Sandshrew is pretty gritty insofar as he battles with grains of sand.
Slash is a little more gritty, in my opinion, than Sandshrew.
But Sandshrew, like grains of sand, like grit. Get it? It's a pun.
Yeah. Sandslash is better.
Wow.
I don't really get it, guys.
Did we get any more Les Miserables answers? Something that Dave can relate to?
Yeah.
Come on, Ari, do you really think so?
I don't know. Why is Hockey Twitter... Hockey Twitter's actually been quite accommodating of my Les Miserables descent. But I need an answer to who the grittiest character is.
Yeah, no one's answered so far.
Shocking.
No. Pull it together. They're all thinking really hard. That must be it.
That's what it is, yes.
Okay. So
we don't
then,
have anything else, we will sign off. Okay. So we have been the Daves and Ari show. I'm your host, Dave Ball, also known as Blunston on Reddit and at Blunston1 on Twitter. We have at LA Kings Dave, as he's known on Twitter and Reddit, and we have Ari Raid here, as she's known on Twitter and Reddit also. You can find this show and all of our other shows on our YouTube page, on our website, ourhotcast.com. You can go to iTunes where we are, and or you can look at our subreddit r/rhockeycast. So without further ado, have a good night, everybody.
Check in next week for more Les Miserables chat.